How's it going, team? This is the Brown Man. I hope all is well. For today, I am going to be going over my Z.E.R.O team, or Team Z.E.R.O. So, I've been getting back into Pokemon Wi-Fi battles, and I'm going to be going over Monday's valued Pokemon. Every single Monday will be the MVP. This Monday's MVP is going to be Slitherwing. It's going to be the different variant of Boogie Bug. I do have to train the other two variants up and put them into some battles. Some of the battles are a bit slow because some people go online with only Mewtwo's and all these other, dudes, and then sometimes you face someone who's just a total noob. So I try to find battles that's at least evenly matched a bit. Even if I lose, I'll post that. I'm okay with that. It's just really a toss-up. And I don't want to just show me getting wiped out by someone with all these fucking ridiculous legendaries, So I kind of just back out of those typically, unless there's something funny that happens mid-match. I typically don't post those just because it's not interesting. It's hey, you know what? He got beat by someone with super uber or whatever the fuck they are, right? So anyway, guys, we're gonna go over this team. I do like to have unconventional moves. Some people might not use the moves, so I'll be going over, for those with some more really niche movesets, I'll be going into some moves that you can actually substitute some of those really niche moves with, if you don't want to use those. And I don't recommend anybody use certain things like Brick Break over here, over here on Galarian Slowking. So let's get into it. Of course, this is a Team Z.E.R.O or Z.E.R.O team, so Z.E.R.O has to be on the team. Z.E.R.O is Hisuian Zoroark. 100 base attack, about 120 base special attack, good speed as well. Illusion is the ability allowing him to actually, or her, allowing this motherfucker to actually copy or have the appearance of another Pokemon, in your last slot. So it's important that when you're readying up for a battle, if you want to send Zoroark out, you can use a slow turning move. It could be a slow Volt Switch, a slow U-turn, a slow Baton Pass, Chilly Reception. You can use one of those moves. You can eat a hit, or your opponent moves first, and then you swap out into Zoroark. Zoroark can look like anybody on your team if they're on your last slot. So let's say they have an offensive Mon. I'll take a hit, I'll switch out, and then that will go into Zoroark. Or you can start off with Zoroark and you'll just copy whoever's last. When it comes to his moves are actually pretty solid. I do like, there's my boy. Shadow Sneak is solid. He has 100 base attack plus stab, so it's not too bad to have that priority. Knockoff is solid as just a general crippling move, especially once again coming off a base 100 attack. Because we are minus defense, so we don't lower our attack for those two moves. When it comes to Hyper Voice and Bitter Malice, those are special attacks, stabs. When it comes to Hyper Voice, it goes around substitutes, so that's pretty, just good for that. And it's 90 base stab. We are Terra Normal. The reason why we are Terra Normal is because it allows us to keep not just our ghost immunity, but have essentially adaptability on Hyper Voice. Hyper Voice being the 90 base power move, we just want to pump that up a little bit. I go Bitter Malice over Shadow Ball because Bitter Malice actually lowers the attack of the target 100% of the time. So let's say we're trying to, maybe we're in a bad situation and we can't actually switch out into somebody. We need Z.E.R.O to take a hit before he goes down. We can actually debuff the opponent and then we swap out. That way it's easier for whoever wants to come in. Also, if there are some physical attackers that swap in, and you don't want to use knockoff per se, then you can go with Bitter Malice and at least get a stat drop to help gain some kind of momentum. So that's pretty solid. And of course, once again, great speed. That's my boy. When it comes to that, he pairs well with Ghidorah. Ghidorah is our Hydreigon. Of course, elemental resistances being a dragon, along with having a dark resistance. Because, well, our dude doesn't. So, because of the Galarian Slowking and Z.E.R.O, we are actually going to tempt the opponent to use some dark moves. So we actually have this guy as well. Of course, we love Ghidorah on this channel, and we love running eject pack. So once we drop a Draco, we can actually switch out to gain some momentum. U-turn is also something that is pretty solid if you want to put on Z.E.R.O. So you can go eject pack, drop a Draco into Z.E.R.O, and then you can use U-turn as a pivot. U-turn is pretty solid. I just don't have U-turn. And priority is something that I typically walk around with. Just in case, you know, because there are people who boost and will outspeed you. So I run that. Dark Pulse, Nasty Plot is actually solid. So let's say you've already did your thing with your eject pact. Now people are crippled. Maybe you got some Thunder Waves in. You got some speed control. It's time for that Nasty Plot. Eat a move, and then you can just do your thing. We run Terra Dark because there is no Dark immunity, but there is a Dragon immunity. So we can go Terra Dark, and then we can, you know, pop off some nasty Dark Pulse. Tinks is our special tank. Once again, another Thunder Waver. Speed control is solid. We are running Modest on Ghidorah, so getting a Thunder Wave or two off really helps Ghidorah pick up some momentum. Knockoff, of course. Once again, another knockoff. Fuck those items, right? Baby Doll Eyes is actually a priority attack lowering move, so even if we are a bit slower, if something comes in and we want to free switch in, once again, we can use Baby Doll Eyes, drop that attack, take a hit, bring somebody in a bit safer. This is also good for Slitherwing here, or Boogie Bug, one of our favorites on this channel, probably our favorite on this channel. Because Boogie Bug has close combat. Close combat will reduce his defense by 1. So if we lower somebody's attack, we bring in Boogie Bug. It makes it a little bit easier, just in case they still outspeed us with a Scarf. Or it makes it easier as well to hit them with 2 close combats, because their attack is -1. So if we are at -1 defense, it kind of cancels out there. U-turn for momentum, of course. It's a fast U-turn, so we don't want to bring somebody frail in. Leech Life for sustain, and it's just a decent stab move. Also, we started experimenting with Stun Spore as well. The thing about Stun Spore is that for those ground types, they are, you know, typically immune to Thunder Wave. So Stun Spore is not the most accurate, but we ran First Impression on here, especially for the match that has been recently uploaded. But I don't have enough shards for Terra Bug, and First Impression is really great for people who boost, especially who are faster than base 81 speed, and they boost. First Impression with the Adamant Nature and the Bug Terra can actually smack them out of commission, but we don't have a Bug Terra yet. So First Impression on a Scarf set is not that useful to check some faster opponents. So we need to wait for that. But Stun Spore is pretty solid for the switch in. You're going to have some people who want to switch in, and they will just be crippled. Especially if your only stab moves are resisted by Fairy and Flying. We might fit in Rock Slide. You might want to do that. That's totally fine. Rock Slide is solid. And of course the U-turn pivots help if you want to put, we'll say, Stealth Rock on something like a Tinkaton as well. Tinkaton can also learn Stealth Rock if you don't want Baby Doll Eyes. That's totally understandable. But we already have Stealth Rock on Donphan. And typically I don't want too many Stealth Rockers on my team, because then that's kind of like an empty move slot for whoever comes in. Is pretty empty. Of course, we have another knockoff here, you know, fuck items entirely. Rapid Spin for removal and Earthquake. So that's just general all around. Of course, because we don't run rock coverage, ooh, my phone. Because we don't run rock coverage, we are a little duped here in terms of like Corviknights. It doesn't really work that way. You're gonna get duped. And if steals are your worries, if Corviknights are your worries, you can actually put Flamethrower onto Z.E.R.O. It's pretty solid if you want. And of course, Z.E.R.O also is immune to body press. So, you know, you can do that in tandem. I'm just saying some combinations as we go. Of course, when it comes to that, you can supplement stuff. You can run Stomping Tantrum on Boogie Bug. Uh, there might be some people using Grassy Terrain, and Stomping Tantrum has 5 less accuracy and 5 less damage from Earthquake. But it doesn't get reduced by Grassy Terrain. Just in case you are facing people who are, you know, more like Smogon players. And Rillaboom, Rillaboom is nasty. Acrobatics, Swords Dance, Grassy Glide, Grassy Seed. Rillaboom is just disgusting. So that is something that can really help with you. When it comes to Durrrrrpie, we did put Brick Break on. The reason why we put Brick Break on Durrrrrpie is because Durrrrrpie is fucking slow. Not only is Durrrrrpie slow, but Durrrrrpie is also specially defensive. And when people are putting up, whether it be, we'll say Aurora Veil, it's going to be something like a Blizzard, Obama Snow, or it's going to be a Blizzard, Alolan Ninetales, right? But we have some bulk, we have a generator. We also have Chilly Reception, so we can Brick Break. We got Future Sight going on. So ideally too, is you can actually use Future Sight when on a predicted screens, and then you can Brick Break as if they stay in or if they switch, you're breaking them bricks, and then Future Sight will hit whoever comes in for full power, and then you could swap to whatever you need to swap to, which is fine. Also, Obama Snow and Alolan Ninetales are weak to poison, so, you know, of course, Sludge Bomb as well. You can go, if you want, turn 1 Brick Break and then turn 2 Sludge Bomb if you are up against those. It is also important to be mindful that you do want to make sure that your speed is not that good, because you don't want to outspeed someone who's setting up screens, right? You typically want them to go first so you can have the option to break when you can. And that is just the breakdown of our team here. Of course, you can also run Psyshock. I think Psyshock is around. I think it's around as a TM. I could be wrong. If not, then you can run Psychic for some immediate power. You can also run Toxic if you want to cripple some bulky switch-ins as well. It's pretty solid. This is offensive Durrrrrpie, so you'll see that we have here a special attack and HP. Of course, if you want a more defensive, we have Sleepy Sally here. Sleepy Sally has Chilly Reception, but also Yawn and Protect for that sleep. So let's say maybe you're not a fan of a more offensive variant, then you can run Yawn, Protect to try to bait that. And then if you are running a snow team, of course, Chilly Reception is really good for you. It is important, and something that I might do. I wish Teleport was back. We gotta see. But Chilly Reception, when you set up the snow, it does actually boost the defensive ice types. So if your team has an ice-centered group, or at least a couple of strong ice Pokemon, and they don't have like a snow setter on their team, you setting snow for them, it won't really work that well in your favor, especially if they have a Baxcalibur trying to go for the setup. You're just boosting their defenses. So it's important to kind of weigh your options when it comes to that point. Eerie Spell is decent as well, especially if you are absorbing hits from, we'll say, someone that's a Choice Specs or Choice Scarf, and you're able to live. Eerie Spell will actually take some of that power point away, especially if it's a strong move. Let's say you're eating something with 5 or 8 power points. Eerie Spell happens, or you use Eerie Spell, especially after they use a recovery move. Most recovery moves has been nerfed this generation, so you'll see that a lot of things like Recover and whatnot, Shore Up, let's go here. Shore Up has been dropped to 5 or 8 power points max. So if you use Eerie Spell on something that's trying to recover, That's 4 power points gone right there. It gets, yeah, so it really helps also break walls. Toxic, if you want, you can run Toxic and Eerie spell, just to make sure walls really can't outlast you. You can run Slack Off as well on this set, so it all depends on you. And but I think Galarian Slowking is rather solid, just in terms of typing. And I think we actually have a decent squad here, right? We have a fighting immunity, and we have fighting immunity, right? We have a quad fighting resist here, to help out with Ghidorah. We have a ground immunity, and we have a ground resistance here to help out against Tinkaton. Fire resistance. Yeah, so I think we are pretty good in terms of elemental matchups as well. So, of course, this might have been a little bit long for a team breakdown, but I just want to give you guys my thoughts. You guys let me know what you think. And, of course, we do have a Discord link below. We got some new emojis, and I'm going to start putting the new emojis in the slide in the top left. In top left, I have the Pokemon emojis for the Discord, just going in order. You guys be safe, stay hydrated, and, of course, have a good one.